I hear the sounds of prologue. Unfortunately, I'm having a little bit of issues with the commentary stream right now, but I'll do my best anyway. In the prologue, we're introduced to our three most basic mechanics, the jump, the grab, and the dash. The dash at the very end. The players will just be hopping a lot right now because each hop saves about 2 frames. And we just heard the bird teach the players how to dash. And that dash is going to be the foundation of pretty much almost all of the speed tech in this game. And as the players finish up Chapter 1, they'll be moving on into Chapter 2. I'm sorry, as they finish the prologue, they'll be moving on into Chapter 1, the Forsaken City. The shortest chapter in the game, but it does a great job of showing off all of the speed tech that's going to be used. Right off the bat, we're going to have hyper dashes, which give you a lot of speed, but a low arc. You got wall bounces, which are dashes up against a wall and then a jump to give you a lot of vertical momentum. We got just normal jump dashes, which give you a mix of the normal jump height, but higher speed. There's a lot of various things you can do with the dash mechanic mixed with the jump. I think the commentary stream is almost working now. Ah, yes, I can see what's happening. Wonderful. All right, so all our players moving well through the city right now. We have these traffic blocks or zippers that once you activate them, they'll move quickly along this rail. You can use their momentum to move quickly in various directions. We just saw GDTog pull off a neat little spike jump there, just jumping off a little bit of the wall just before the spikes, and he'll be the first one actually to finish Chapter 1. Very nice work there, GDTog. Tidal finishing up just behind him. Both Doroco and Linkforce, they're I guess the lower seeds in this race, so probably not going to be very suspenseful the outcomes of this race, but we're still going to cheer them on, and we could try to get a PB from them and stuff, and we'll be watching them for some cool stuff that they're going to be doing as well. So our leaders, Tidal and GDTog, are now in the second chapter. It starts off with a dream sequence. So these dream blocks that GDTog has just activated are these neat little mechanic, very fun to play with, where you basically just dash through them. They act like a wall normally, but if you dash through them, then you kind of just pass through it like a bunch of space jelly and shoot at the other side. If you do shoot out into a wall, you're going to get squished, so you got to watch out for that. Unfortunately, having some issues with the commentary stream again. But I can tell from the music that the battle line chase has just started. So we have battle line, which is basically Madeline's, the main character's kind of dark side. Her anxiety and fear is physically manifested and is chasing her now on a 3-second delay, sort of like a Shadow Rayman or some mechanic like that. So not too much of a challenge to speedrunners, at least in the first several rooms of the chase, but later on they need to do some backtracking in order to actually get through the screen, so they're going to have to weave in between them if possible. Unfortunately, having some issues here with the commentary stream, so I'm a little bit blind right now. It sounds like our leaders have made it out of the battle line chase, and they're now in a section leading to the part called Awake, which is basically the there's no danger anymore. There's no lethal danger, but the challenge here is just to get through these rooms as quickly as possible, without getting hung up on the terrain or the springs, which can kind of kill your momentum in a moment. A little bit harder than it looks. And we hear GDTog finishing up Chapter 2. And he'll be starting Chapter 3 now. The Celestial Resort. So here we have some interactions with the somewhat an irritating character named Mr. Oshiro. He's going to try to, basically, he wants Madeline to stay in his hotel. But we just want to get moving because we have a summit to reach. So there's going to be a little bit of conflict there. So Chapter 3 involves a lot of cycles. We have these red and black dust bunnies, which move either in circles or back and forth, or maybe they're just big blobs of them as obstacles. So getting through these rooms on the cycles is definitely an added level of challenge in this game. It's definitely one of the harder parts, one of the big difficulty spikes. Just standing by for the stream to come back up. All right, looks good. All right, so we actually have GDTog in the lead right now. He's entering the huge mess section. All of the players, though, have entered Chapter 3, so we're still seeing some nice paces from them. So the huge mess section that GDTog is in right now, and that Tidal will be entering very shortly, very cluttered. There's 3 types of tile to clean up right now. So there are 3 different sections to go through and some obstacles to clear, and then these runners will be hitting one button at each of the 3 sections to clear up some of the mess. Nice little spike jump by GDTog there. Not quite a spike jump, it's really a wall jump that ignores the spikes, but it's a somewhat precise trick, and it saves a little bit of time, so that's good for him for getting that. So if you look at the huge mess screen after he clears that button, you'll see that there's a little less mess going on. The boxes are all cleared up. So we'll see that continue until he's able to clear the whole mess and get the key in the middle. He is now cleaning up books, whereas Tidal just hit the button to clear the boxes. So he's just, that unofficial race there, he's just a maybe like 20-30 seconds behind GDTog there. Linkforce also making his way through the first section of Huge Mess. Doroco trailing a little bit behind in the reception area. And GDTog now in the final section of the cleanup. This is the laundry section. Let's see if he goes for the big cycle skip. Oh, no, it looks like he's not going for it in this room. That's fine. Just a half cycle skip. I've been trying to incorporate it into my runs recently. It's pretty risky. All right. Tanner, GDTog has cleared the whole huge mess. Now he's able to access that key in the middle, and he'll be moving up into the elevator shaft. Tidal just behind him, and Doroco just starting to enter the huge mess area just as soon as he can get past these columns over here. So GDTog had a little bit of trouble there in that 4 lock switch room, but not really much. There are a lot of these long rooms and elevator shafts that can be kind of punishy to die in. This one in particular that he's in right now, it looks like he cleared it with no problem. Tidal joining him, going up the elevator shaft into the lock switch room. And the other 2 runners, Doroco and Linkforce, are both working their way through the huge mess right now, clearing those buttons. Doroco looks like he just started. Actually, it looks like he is taking a different route than most runners. That's interesting. The route for these sections is mostly set in the speedrun just by the positioning of Oshiro at the end. It looks like Doroco is taking a slightly different approach here. Maybe he's just used to this this order right now. It makes some of the jumps a little easier. Ooh, very nice. I assume that GDTog did the same thing. I didn't catch it though, but Tidal doing nice chained hypers through that room to grab the key. Then he does a quick death warp back to the entrance of the room to save a few seconds. GDTog now being chased by Mr. Oshiro, so here's where the conflict there really comes into play. Oshiro is angry at you. He charges at you horizontally across the screen. And the challenge is to get through these cycles without being hit by him. And Tidal will be joining him around now as well. And unfortunately, my commentary stream is frozen again, so hopefully that unfreezes pretty soon. Definitely some tricky rooms in the Oshiro chase section, especially the last one. It's extremely long, and deaths there can be very punishing. Just yesterday, we had a race that was very close until one of the runners got kind of tilted on that screen. It can lead to a lot of pain if you get caught on the death cycle. So it sounds like GDTog. So Taggartson just asked who's audio. Audio is on GDTog, and it sounds like he just finished up the Oshiro section. He finished up Chapter 3, and he'll be moving on to the Golden Ridge. So after all the drama in Chapter 3, Golden Ridge is kind of a nice, refreshing breather. I mean, not in terms of difficulty, but just it's like you don't have to deal with these annoying people and their problems. It's just you against the mountain. The main part of Chapter 4 is the wind, which pushes you back and forth. You also have the clouds, which act like trampolines, and we have the bubbles, which are basically like, you can think of them like the barrels in Donkey Kong or something. They're like a little extra dash that you can get from the air. Sounds like GDTog just got through the lock switch room in Chapter 4, so he'll be moving on to the shrine area, where we get introduced to the moving blocks. It sounds like we've hit an auto-scroller. And it sounds like GDTog just hit the auto-scroller skip with a hyper and a bunny hop, to skip like this whole second half of that auto-scroller, so that's nice. I really love the music in this section. It's low-key awesome. I've kind of lost track of what's going on just based on the audio, so I apologize. I haven't heard any death sounds though, which means GDTog must be doing pretty well. Okay, so GDTog has just entered the cliff face section. Very heavy wind here. The only way to make any headway at all is by dashing or using dash-based speed tech to move forward quickly against the wind. So definitely a challenge, especially casually. Sounds like he just took a death there. Another thing that starts to come into play in the cliff face is the snowballs, which come at you from the right side of the screen horizontally. They can be a really big pain. They don't come with much warning, and they'll hit you in the face. You can bop on top of the snowballs to get a little hop and get your dash back, though, and that's used in some strats, some of the more advanced strats. It looks like the stream is getting restarted again, so hopefully we'll have eyes on this again very soon. We can only imagine what's happening right now, but I'm sure it's epic. Just imagine the most epic strats you've ever seen, executed flawlessly. Oh, I think I've been saying that the audio is GDTog, but it's actually been Tidal. I apologize for that error. And actually, Tidal is ahead of all 4 runners right now. He has entered the Mirror Temple just now, so he's finished with the Golden Ridge Chapter 4. Actually, GDTog not that far behind him, just finishing up in the last room of Golden Ridge right now. No swagberry for him. That's fine. Save those 2 frames or whatever. Doroco is a little behind the other runners right now. He is now in the last room of the Oshiro section in Chapter 3. I'm not actually sure what his PB is. It looks like it's not listed on SR.com. So I'm expecting that Doroco is probably a relatively newer runner. So it's great that he's... it's awesome to see all people of all different skill levels joining this tournament and having fun. In Mirror Temple, which both GDTog and Tidal are in right now, we do have the red bubbles, which move infinitely in a certain direction. We have these dash blocks, which move along when you dash. They're a lot like the zippers in Chapter 1, except they move when you dash, so you have some more control over when exactly they're going to go. And I guess the stream is really not happy with us today, because it's frozen again. So I'll just do my best to try to say what's going on via audio. We have Tidal right now in this little kind of nightmare section where he controls a Seeker for a little bit. The Seekers are the new enemy that's going to be introduced. Tidal and probably GDTog too. Now looks like we're getting another reset. Now in the unraveling section, which is where the Mirror Temple really starts to get spooky. There's tentacles, there's Seekers. Things are bad. The inside of your head doesn't look too good right now, which is sort of what's being reflected out to you. One thing that the Seekers can do for you, besides kill you, is hit these lock switches for you, and we will see some of these runners manipulate the Seekers to hit those lock switches for us to save us a little bit of time. We just did see that on Tidal's screen right there. The explosion from one hitting one of the lock switches, I believe. In our unofficial race between Tidal and GDTog, they're not actually racing each other. We do have Tidal a little bit of ahead in the last section of Unraveling, while GDTog is just starting it. Meanwhile, Linkforce and Doroco are both moving through Golden Ridge. Linkforce is in Cliff Face, so he's almost done, whereas Doroco is in Shrine, so he's a little further behind. Tidal is about to go for the biggest single time save in the game, and he got it first try. Very nice. It's called Search Skip. It saves like 2 or 3 minutes. Probably the most important skip you want to learn if you want to run this game. And that's most of the search section right there, which normally is much longer, having to go through a big labyrinth with some puzzles and collect 2 keys. So we just skipped all those 2 keys, and he's about to get right through this into the rescue section with Theo. Meanwhile, GDTog is finishing up unraveling right now, so he'll be going to do search skip just now. Also a first try search skip from GDTog. The auto-scroller that Doroco is on right now, that he just finished, is one that does let you skip it with a couple various ways to do it. He went for the safe strat. That's cool. So I should explain a little bit about what's happening on Tidal's screen right now. He's in the Theo section, the rescue section of Mirror Temple, the final segment. You basically have to escort Theo, who is trapped in a crystal, to the exit. And it's a lot trickier movement here because you can't dash while you're holding Theo, and you do have to escort him to the exit. So the main ways to move quickly through this part is to throw him and then do some speed tech and then catch him again in the air to keep that momentum going forward. So it definitely adds a lot of technical difficulty to the speed tech here. Looks like Tidal didn't have much problems in that section though. He just finished up. He's up right now in the final room, like really dangerous room of the Theo Seeker section. Oh wow, that is brutal. He just got sniped by that sneaker right at the very end of that room. You got to be careful with those guys. If you leave them alone for a second, they're gonna come right at you. All right, he's not having any of it the second time around. He just bopped right on its head and said, "Stay down." And now he's in the final room, the pulse room. This eyeball at the end is shooting pulses at him, and he's gonna try to throw the crystal into the eyeball to finish up this level. And it sounds like he did it. We had a nice run there of a working stream, but it looks like it's down again. Tidal now entering chapter 6. This is the chapter 6 called Reflection. A lot of really good big story stuff happens in this chapter, and we start off right away with the feather mechanic. These golden feathers, they turn you into a little floating ball that can fly in omnidirectionally until the time runs out. A lot of runners will switch it to analog stick for this section because in feather movement is the only movement in the game that actually works on fully analog movement, and you can actually gain a little speed and optimization by using analog stick there. So that sound you just heard of the dashing, the metallic dashing, and then that are the Kevin blocks or pressure blocks, which if you dash into a side of them, they get mad, they wake up, and they start ramming towards you in the direction that you dash them from. So they're both a hazard and a help. You can use them to get a lot of momentum in some cases. I believe we just heard the neutral jumps up the wall in hollows. Tidal is now entering the hollow section. There are multiple paths through this section. There are like 6 different branching paths where you can go top or bottom. Most runners pretty much know exactly which directions are going to take. There is a little bit of controversy over maybe the last fork as to which is faster, at least RTA. Right, so we have the stream back up, happily. Tidal and GDTog, we can see them both right now working their way through Reflection. Doroco actually finishing up in the last room now of Golden Bridge. So he's definitely fallen behind the others, probably to be expected, given his relative inexperience. So definitely no shame there. Linkforce working his way now towards search skip. And let's see if he can get it. Nice. First try search skip from Linkforce as well. So that's 3 out of 3 for first try search skips. Very nice. Tidal now is finished up the last room right now of Hollows, so he's going to be getting into the kind of the introductory scenes leading up to the battle and fight. There is some cool stuff coming up pretty soon. Romani asked what Doroco's PB is. I'm actually not sure because it's not listed. Nothing is listed on the speedrun.com, and I didn't really have a chance to ask the runners beforehand. I just saw a really nice skip by Tidal there using those developer-intended shortcuts there. I'm pretty sure he got it first try, though I wasn't fully paying attention to that, so hopefully I'm right about that. But that is very impressive. The first 2 shortcuts are pretty easy. The last one doesn't really have a good setup for it. You kind of have to weave in and change your direction like as you're falling through the spikes, so it's pretty tight. Pretty nice battle and boost there by Tidal. Really getting a lot of speed out of the Kevin block so he can sort of shoot like a railgun through that hallway. GDTog go in for this, so I think he went for it the first time, the bumper boost, but he didn't quite get it the second time. Just a little bit of a time save to skip one of the bumpers. Nice bop on the Seeker by Linkforce there. That looks like a close one. So Tidal is now in the battle and fight. So this is the same entity that was chasing the players in Chapter 2, and now the tables are turned, I guess. You're chasing her now, while she tries to fight you off with lasers and fireballs. You're going to try to ram your face into her over and over again until she submits, essentially. We got some hey yaws in chat. Yep, this soundtrack here is always a crowd favorite. I saw GDTog just get that little shortcut there through the spikes as well. So he's very close now to getting into the battle and fight as well. Doroco is just heading up to the mirror to enter the unraveling section of Chapter 5. Meanwhile, Linkforce is about halfway through the Theo section, so he'll be finishing up Chapter 5 very soon. Let's see. So GDTog tried to go for the that big railgun battle line boost, but he got caught up on a little bit of the terrain, so he wasn't able to get that momentum he wanted. But it's cool. I mean, it doesn't save that much time. It's just really cool looking and fun to get. All right, so Tidal has now gotten through about 2/3 of the battle and fight. This is where things start to get a little trickier. Battle End goes ultimate evil on you, and she starts manipulating these blocks to start moving around back and forth, as well as doing her lasers and fireballs. So there's an extra environmental hazard going on. Sometimes you'll need to use those blocks, though, to get the momentum you need in order to clear some of these obstacles. Like in this room right here, we're going to see him hyper quickly to get to that last moving block on that first cycle, so that he can catch the momentum of it moving outwards and use that to get over the spikes. Linkforce has finished Chapter 5. He's now in the very beginning of Chapter 6. So Tidal is in the final room now of Battle End. It looks like he got through that long room with no problem. Very nice to not catch any deaths there. And he has just finished the boss fight, and he has leveled up. And level up means you can dash twice in the air, as opposed to your normal usual dash, where you can only use it once in the air before you have to land on the ground again, or use some other way to refresh your dash. He can now do it twice. And that's going to be... that really opens up a lot of possible movement. And we're going to see a lot of that be necessary in Chapter 7, which is coming right up at the summit. GDTog also now entering the last third of the battle and fight, where things get a little hectic. Doroco is finishing up unraveling section right now. Hopefully, it looks like he's able to get through that while leaving the Seeker in the dust, so good for him. And Linkforce is working his way through the beginning of the lake through the hollow section. So the idea of the summit is basically it's all of the chapters you've gone through this so far, but now you have 2 dashes, and the levels are designed such. So, like story-wise, you were working your way up the mountain in chapters 1 through 5. Then, in the beginning of chapter 6, you were actually knocked all the way back down under the base of the mountain, like underground. And now, with your newfound power of friendship and 2 dashes, we're going to be able to climb all the way back up the mountain in one whole go, and that includes going through all of the levels that we've gone through before, or at least similar looking levels. Tidal is now in the chapter 1 section of Summit. You can hear those zipper blocks moving as you use the momentum from them to get up in various places. Friendship is a great game mechanic. Friendship with yourself, self-actualization, self-acceptance. Quick stream reboot because it was freezing again. Let's give some applause to the Speed Gaming crew for doing the best to get us through these technical difficulties. Mr. Broadstone, no name. Good guys. Tidal now in the chapter 2 section, actually finishing it up pretty soon in the chapter 2 section of Summit. So we have the return of the Dream Blocks. We didn't really get a chance to see it. Maybe we will on GDTog screen. It is actually possible to hyper out of the end of the Dream Blocks. It's still not used by very many runners because it only saves a little bit of time and it's kind of risky, but it's a kind of a neat new optimization that some of the more top runners have been using. Tidal now in the chapter 3 section of the Summit. This is a very difficult section. A lot of very long rooms with some tough cycles. So let's see how we gets through these. This in particular, very long room right here, very punishing if you die. Looks like he's through, no problem. Very nice. Took a quick early death in that room, not really a problem because it happened so fast. It looks like, I'm not sure if he tried to go for the Ultra Strat, but he missed it, so he's just going to get through this room the slow and easy way. Maybe not easy, but you know, not insane. Meanwhile, GDTog is entering now the 2,000 meter section. So we can just keep an eye on his screen and see if he's going to be going for any Dream Hypers. I'm not sure if he knows how to do that or not. Oh, he missed a lock switch there. Has to go back for it, but very nice recovery. Linkforce on the big Kevin heading to the Madeline fight. Looks like he's not going for that big boost, but oh, he got some nice speed through that hallway though. Anyway, so he's starting that fight now. Meanwhile, as Doroco finishes up chapter 5 here at the end, just throwing Theo into that eyeball and finishing that up. So Tidal in the chapter 4 section of the Summit. Here's a particularly tough room, really long room with snowballs coming at you and high wind. He just took a snowball in the face right there. Kind of gives you an idea of how tough this room can be. I apologize to the viewers about the difficulties of this stream tonight. It's definitely not something that we want to see happen, but you know, sometimes life and annoying tech issues just, you know, have their own say. A little hard to tell what's happening right now. I believe that Tidal is now in the final room of the 2,000 meter section of the Chapter 4 section. Very long kind of obstacle course where you have to hit the purple orb in the right place every time. Not particularly difficult, but definitely very costly if you die. Sounds like he got it. So he's moving now into the 2,500 meters, which is the Chapter 5 section of Summit. A lot of really cool skips here, some really neat strats. Hopefully we'll get the chance to see it. Trying to imagine what's happening in this level based on the sound. Having a little bit of trouble. Oh, so it sounds like he got key skip there, which is cool. So there's a couple of little neutral jumps you could do off a wall to skip a whole bottom room. And grab a key. Sorry for the dead air. Just trying to try to figure where he's at right now. Oh, it actually sounds like he's in the final room of 2,500 meters. I wonder if he got door skip. It kind of sounds like he did, because I didn't hear any buttons go. Yeah. We do have Jimmy Jim Jammers saying that he did get door skip first try. I thought I heard that. Man, Tidal is really killing it on this run. I did hear him take a death very early on in the final room, in the Battleland room, but it sounded like an early death and not one that was very costly. All right, stream coming back up. Good times. Thank you very much, Mr. Broadstone, for trying to hammer this thing into submission. So I'm not getting audio, but I am getting video, and that is even more useful for commentary. We have Tidal now in the 30,000 meter section, the very last section of the game, and we see he's hitting these little flags which act as checkpoints in these extremely long screens. So Tidal is now in the downdraft section, which is basically wind. It's like wind like from Chapter 4, except it actually is pushing down this time. So it basically changes the whole way your movement mechanics work, makes gravity heavier. And now, just as I say that, he has moved out of downdraft and into updraft. So this is, the wind is moving upward now. And it basically lessens gravity. It makes jumps higher. It makes you fall a lot slower, kind of floaty, like you're in a water level or something like that. Some tough flags coming up. Oh, GDTog having some trouble there getting that key skip in 2,500 meters. He did get it eventually though, so that's nice. He probably still saved a little bit of time going over the bottom, though I didn't see exactly how long he was trying that. Very nice to Tidal getting through that flag 13 on the first try. Can be pretty tough at the end and punishing if you die. GDTog trying to thread the needle there, not quite getting it. Oh, and I should mention Doroco has through hollows now in Chapter 6, and he's now moving his way through down towards the Battleland fight. He'll be there soon. And meanwhile, Linkforce is in the 500 meter section. So he's a little bit past the very earliest part of Summit. In terms of the actual races happening, there isn't really any suspense. It looks like GDTog and Tidal are going to take their respective wins, but it's still nice to watch these runners move because it's cool. Tidal now in the actual final section, the final screen, I should say, of the Summit of the game, even at any percent. Very long screen, just a few flags to go. Some of these last trickiest ones he's doing right now. Looks like he's getting through them really great. And Tidal now on flag 2. No problems, no deaths. Everything that I've seen from Tidal in this run has been really solid. I expect that he'll be happy with this run. And he's finishing with a 3650. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. I'm going to switch now to audio to GDTog, who is also making his way through 3,000 meters right now. He's just making his way from downdraft into updraft. Meanwhile, Doroco is working on the battle and fight, while Linkforce is in the Chapter 2 section of Summit. So he's still they're both still moving along nicely. I do apologize for not spending a really inappropriate amount of time on the non-lead runners. It's pretty hard to do these 4 ways as a single commentator. It's really hard to keep track of everything and give appropriate kudos to everyone. Can't quite see what the death count is there on Tidal's screen, but it looks kind of low. Maybe someone can repeat it in chat because it's kind of a little blurry for me. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, BenTZ, for apologizing so much. I'm sorry for that. Just kidding. "15 deaths from Tidal. That's really impressive. That's a really low death count. It's a death count to me that suggests that he could gain a lot from incorporating more speed strats into his run. Not that he was really slow. I mean, 3650 is a really nice time, especially in the race setting. And based on his SR.com time, that would be a PB. But I'm really hesitant at this point to say that it's actually a PB because I've had so many false PBs commentating because there have been a lot of PBs that have not been updated yet. Oh, okay. So Jim Jammers, if he is a credible source, is saying that Tidal did PB by 10 seconds, which is awesome. Really cool to see another PB in this tournament. GDTog now is finishing up Summit. He's in the last screen right now, just on flag 3. He'll be done very soon. Linkforce moving through 1,500 meters. Difficult stream right here, so let's hope he can get through that. And Doroco is still in the first 2/3 of the battle and fight, but I think he'll be hitting the remix section pretty soon. Linkforce getting through both of those 1,500 meter rooms very nicely. And GDTog has just finished with a 3940. Very nice. All right, Linkforce finishing up 1,500 meters, so I bet he's glad that's behind him. Doroco taking a little bit of a death there, not too bad. Doroco now in the last third of the fight where things get a little dicey with the moving blocks. Taking a death there, the momentum of that moving block propelled him right up into a fireball. So we can see here Linkforce, he is taking the top route here, the berry route. Getting up there is a little bit tricky to do it quickly, but it is faster than taking the other route. Let's see how Linkforce gets through this long snowball room, taking one to the face. I think I saw Tidal do take a very similar death. Oh wow, that was a really lucky snowball bop right there. If he was a couple pixels lower, he probably would have got it in the face again. Doroco is now in the last room of the battle and fight. It looks like he'll be finishing up pretty soon. That was a close one. Ooh, dipping a little bit too low with that feather. Looks like Linkforce opted not to go for the auto scroller skip in that room, which I wasn't really able to highlight it on the other runner's screen. So, but keep on watching Celeste races and you'll see it. It's really cool. All right, Doroco is leveling up now, and he's just going to be mopping up Chapter 6 and heading into the summit. All right, Linkforce in the last room of 2,000 meters. Let's see if he can navigate these battle line orbs properly. Not too difficult, as I said, but it's pretty long, and it's not that hard to make a mistake. Doroco finishing up Chapter 6. Fair amount of deaths there. It seems like he might have had a hard time with Chapter 6. It's a tough chapter. GG's to GDTog, Tanner, and to Tidal for winning the race, and for an entertaining run. Oh, nice attempt at the double wave dash there from Linkforce. He did miss getting his dash back on the last wave dash, but he managed to save it very nicely. And that's also a first try key skip from him. Very cool. I think Linkforce might have been practicing 2,500 meters. Doroco making his way through this 500 meter or 0 meter column room, a little slowly, safely. Oh, it looks like Linkforce is going for door skip. At least he went for it once. And he's going to go for it again. Missed it again. This is a very popular skip to do for the fans, but it's pretty tricky to get. It doesn't save that much time. Oh, nice. He got it. Got it on his third try. Nice and clean. Doroco opting not to do the wall bounces in that room in 500 meters. He's just gonna do the normal way, which is fine. All right, Linkforce finishing up 2,500 meters. He's moving now into 3,000 meters, the final segment to summit. Oh, hey, GDTog. Sorry, I didn't realize you were actually in the room with me. Hey, you want to say hello?
Hey. Hi. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. You think you could maybe raise your mic a few notches? It's kind of hard to hear you.
You know what? It's probably because I was speaking quietly and I was pretty far from my mic. I apologize.
I can hear you great now.
Yeah.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Mixed feelings, emotions.
I saw in chat you seem to be a little bit unhappy with your run.
That's probably single-handedly, like, for my skill level right now, that's probably the worst possible run I could have had. And I'm just lucky that I had an off day on a day where it was okay to have an off day.
Where your opponent was a little less skilled, I guess.
It was less pressure.
I hear that.
I don't know if the fact that it was less pressuring made me play worse, because I didn't feel like I had to play good, but like the last Oshiro room happened, and then I tilted from that for the rest of the run.
Oh man.
And I mean, like, I had a good chapter, like a decent chapter 5 by my standard, and I got Lake Skip second try, and I was like, oh, maybe I can pull this back, and 38 or 37 at least, and then yeah, no, it just all went down the drain again.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
I've been
hopefully
lightheaded.
Your next one goes better.
Yeah, I've been lightheaded and dizzy for like the past like 5-6 hours too, so that didn't help at all for sure.
Oh no. Oh, that's not good to hear. I hope you feel better soon, man.
Yeah, the only good thing that came from that run was you know, I was gonna say Lake Skip, but yeah, I guess Lake Skip was good because that's the first time I've tried it in a race, and I got a second try, so I didn't lose time.
Nice.
And I got.
I'm sorry to say, I didn't actually see it happen.
Yeah, I know. I saw that there was some stuff going on. I saw, but yeah, I got door skip first try, and that was the first time I'd gone for it in the tournament as well. So that was nice.
That's really cool. Yeah, I saw that door skip. That was sweet.
It looked really nice. Like after I got out of the room, I was like, oh, that was really good.
You did get that sub 40 though, so yeah, could have been worse.
Yeah, I mean, but 40 deaths is way more than I average like 29. So
okay.
40 is ridiculous. I died on auto scroller skip in 2,000 meters like 6 times too.
Oh no,
it was really bad. But I mean, all you can do is take it as a chip on your shoulder and then move on.
Yeah, like when you have like bad runs or like bad rooms in this game, like really like the way to move forward is just to try to forget it and just like move on like nothing happened.
Yeah, the tournament's too long to dwell on something like this for like a long period of time. So
right. Anyway, thanks a lot for racing with us today.
Yeah, it was fun regardless. I hope that it was at least somewhat entertaining to watch me, you know, die over and over again.
I don't think we saw as many deaths from you as we might have otherwise.
I'm glad. I'm glad that Twitch was screwing up.
Because, so a little silver lining there.
It would have been so much worse.
GG, man.
Thanks, I appreciate it. At least it's sub 40. That's what counts.
Let's see. How many races have you done so far, including this one?
That's my third. I beat ICOD, lost to Ben, and then yeah, won this one.
All right.
So I'm 2.
Linkforce has finished up. GG, Linkforce. It looks like we don't have audio for Doroco, so I'm just gonna go ahead and switch back to Tidal for the nice epilogue music. So Doroco, moving through 1,500 meters. It's a tricky room right here. Okay. He got caught there. I think he might have gotten a little confused there. He thought he had hit the lock switch, but he didn't. Oh, cool. It looks like we have Linkforce waiting in the wings to come join us for an interview. And I don't know if Tidal is watching or not, but he could feel free to join us as well if he's able and desires to. So GG to Linkforce for his 48-28. Let me see what his PB is. Speedrun.com says his PB is a 48-48. So this, if that is accurate, this would be like a 25-minute PB. Unclear if it's actually accurate or not, so I'm going to hold off on saying definitely a PB, but still a nice time for him, for sure. All right, Doroco finished up 1,500 meters. He's now in the 2,000 meter section. All right, Linkforce doesn't have a mic, so he won't be able to talk with this tonight. But he did inform me that he did PB by 20 seconds. So GG's to Linkforce for that PB. So that's the second PB of this race. That's awesome. GG Linkforce. It's always nice when even when the runner is behind to get that PB. This feels really good, and it's really encouraging. Not just to the runner themselves, but to the watchers as well. Doroco moving his way through the this long snowball room here. Probably the hardest room of 20,000 meters, 2,000 meters. He's taking the top route here for safety. Looks like he's going to make it. Yep. Tanner, feel free to keep on chatting. I'm lonely.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm just running through the core right now.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah, I see that.
I just felt like playing the core for some reason. I was gonna do it on that file that I just raced on, and then I realized, oh wait, you need hearts for that.
A little bit of swag. I've been running core or practicing core just for Arwood berries. Ooh, it looks like the stream has died again.
I was gonna say ARB is a lot of fun.
ARB is my favorite category by far. I hope we get more runners on it after the tournament ends. Oh, good. Our stream is back up. So Doroco did make his way successfully through that long snowball room. And he's just finishing up the last couple rooms of 2,000 meters right now. Yo, Bentuzia, I'll take you up on that ARB race at some point. I really like ARB. Doroco in the final screen of 2,000 meters. Close one there, but he did manage to get the orb. Ooh, another close one. Pretty close to those spikes, but he makes it. Bentizia, I'm just glad to know that there is actually anyone who is interested in racing an ARB. I'll try to let you know soon. Doroco working his way through 2,500 meters. Some nice momentum off that dash block. Oh, Doroco actually going for key skip. Let's see if he can get it. Wow, he got it on basically his first try. Very nice. It looks like he didn't do the retry there. Maybe he doesn't know about that. That it's a little bit faster to retry. The stream again. So not totally sure what's happening at the moment.
Is it a Twitch issue or is it speed gaming?
I'm not actually sure. It looks like they're restarting it again. I suspect it's a speed gaming issue. I think Speed Gaming 4 has just been kind of acting up today. Or, you know, in this
Speed
past
Gaming
hour.
4 has been acting up a lot, just like throughout the entire tournament, because I was supposed to have a four-way with High Cod, Catnip, and I forget who else was in that race, and we tried to do it, and the stream couldn't actually handle having 4 streams at once.
That's unfortunate. Doroco has finished out 2500, and he's now going to be working on the last segment of that summit just to finish that up. If he can do this quickly, he might get a sub-hour. It'll be difficult, though. I'm not sure if it's really possible. Looks like there was a little bit of confusion of where to go at the start of that, but not much. That's interesting. They actually managed to snag that strawberry before succumbing. You can see the downdraft really weighing down on Doroco here. Almost done now with downdraft though. Oh, sorry. I got a little ahead of myself there. Yeah, it looks like a sub 1 hour is probably out of reach for Doroco at this point. But still a valiant effort. Yeah, I can't really comment on whether he's on PB pace or not, just because I'm not sure what his PB is. Now an updraft. So if anyone was wondering what I was talking about before with A or B, it's a category, all red berries, to get all these strawberries, like you just see one on Doroco's screen right there. There's 175 of them, so it adds a lot of like new rooms and new strats to the mix. It's a very cool category. There's for those who are not familiar with Celeste, there's a lot of content beyond the 90% run. There's a lot of bonus levels that we don't even touch in this run. There's more hidden collectibles for 100%. There's a lot of really good stuff. Like the 90% is just sort of scratching the surface.
This last room sucks, just fun fact.
Yes, it does. We're having some trouble here with Flag 13. Probably, I mean, aptly named, I guess, if you believe in the Unlucky 13, but it's a lot of annoying movement. It's kind of slow to get to the end, and then the end of it has kind of this tricky section right here. He's just struggling to get that lineup right. He just got it though. Very nice. So flag 9 right here, a lot of really precise dashes needed to get through these tiny gaps. We saw him overshoot it before and now undershoot it a little bit. All right, grabbing that checkpoint there for safety. A lot of runners skip that checkpoint, but if you're having trouble with flag 9, you definitely want to get it just in case. Doroco now in the second to last screen of the summit. And stream is unhappy again.
Stream is unhappy.
I'd like to anthropomorphize it.
It is displeased.
But I think we can probably assume that Doroco is probably on the final screen now of Summit, and we'll be finishing up those last 4 somewhat difficult flags. And unless we get another stream reset, I might have to ask chat to just let me know when Doroco is finished up. Oh, it looks like we're getting that reset now. It's an interesting idea, Bentizi. It adds a lot of strategy for which ones to go for.
Yeah, you'd actually have to make like a route for it. That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, like that would be a lot of planning to go into a route like that. All right, it looks like Doroco has reached the summit. He's a little slow on the cutscene skip, so he's wasting some time there, but he does finish up with a 1 hour and 2 minutes. Pretty much flat. Very nice. Nice time by Doroco. I'm not sure what his actual PB is, but Bentizi said that he had a 1 hour 10 minutes time with him before. So this is 8 minutes better than that. So maybe a good sign of improvement there. GG, Doroco, and GG to all of our runners.
So you solo calm to 4-way,
eh? I did solo the 4-way, and I had to do a lot of blind commentary as well. So that was. Oh
yeah, that's the double.
Yeah, and if I can get through this, I can get through anything.
Exactly, that's what I said after I got done commentating the 4-way that I did.
If anything, it was even a little bit easier to do with the stream problems because I wasn't like feeling overwhelmed by all the visuals. I do actually have a race of my own coming up in just a few minutes, so I probably can't hang out here for too long. I need to take a quick bathroom break and get my stream set up.
Good luck, dude.
Thanks, man. Thanks, chat. So I guess I'm probably going to wrap this up. Apologies to Doroco. I think I'm probably going to probably skip the interview. Or we can see if you're around when I get back. I just need to head out for a minute. Thanks to all the runners. Thanks to the watchers. Thanks very much to Speed Gaming staff, especially for working with us through these tough technical issues. We really appreciate all the work you've been doing to get this tournament like to as many people as possible and really show off this awesome gaming community. And I do feel for the Speed Gaming staff because we have another 4-way race coming up on this channel, and hopefully there won't be as many issues with that one. So I'm going to end off this episode, and oh, don't forget to follow the runners. They just played their hearts out for you. Oh, that's the new command for the new race. But it's the thought that counts.
Good effort. It's okay. You can see the names on screen. Well, they're gone now, actually. Okay. So now you can't.
All right. It's over. Have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you soon in the prologue. Goodbye now.